your car. I believe. Hey. Share the ride, save the pay. I believe. Yeah. Learn a nugget every day. I believe. Together we move far. I believe. Carpooling. The future's in your car.
Hello and welcome to the Kenny T One-on-One podcast. Today, we've got some good news because guess what? We have another sponsor on the show. It's called Abalea Carpooling, right? This is a new concept in Zambia, very affordable, it's safe, it's reliable, right? So what happens is that if you are supposed to be paying, for example, 100 kwacha to get to town on a private taxi alone, okay? This particular new concept and the app that you need to download, what it does for you is that it will put together 3, 4, 5 people, depending on how many people can fit in the car. And you go to the same destination, and all you do is that you share that cost equally. It's very cheap, it's very affordable, it's what you need for today's transportation. Now remember, it's both obviously local and if you're going out of town. I remember the days of events that take place in Livingston. I think we have 2, 3 events or activities that take place in Livingston, and a lot of people usually want to go there, but it's like, okay, the cost, going there alone. You've got a solution now. This transportation solution is very easy and it's what you need. This is the Kenny T One-on-One podcast. Our guest today is Vashilota. But before we get into it, we'd like to thank our sponsor, Yatu Tea. Remember, you can find Yatu Tea in all leading supermarkets across the country. This is the Kenny T One-on-One podcast. My guest today is DRIMZ. DRIMZ has many names. Vashilota, Mr Muziq, the Zambian Dream, Kaonde Waia, Soti Muli Supu, Diashi Nalolu. Let's start with Vashilota first. We need to go through all of this. DRIMZ, how are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
Welcome to the podcast, my man. You look good, and thank you very much for accepting our
appreciate
our invite to be here.
I'm equally honored to be on the podcast. I've been watching a lot of episodes, and I must admit that you are doing really great.
Thank you.
Sure.
We really appreciate.
Sure.
So let's go through these names.
Sure.
Vashilota.
So my firstborn son is Lota.
Okay.
Yeah, so practically he's junior because I'm also Lota.
What Yakwis?
I'm Kaonde by tribe. So it's
right.
Northwestern.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Mr Muziq?
I'm the music man, so I produce good music, so hence that title.
The Zambian Dream?
I'm an embodiment of Zambian music.
Kaonde Waia?
Obviously, another way of showing gratitude to where I'm coming from, Northwestern.
Soti Muli Supu.
Ulumbola Vashilota lapanga since last.
Diaisa
Nalolu.
This is Kaonde.
No, it's Lamba Lala mixed. Lwaisana Lolu.
Oh, great.
Lwaisana Lumbi Lwimbo.
So number amashina ya flyer kukwitapo this session up.
The one that you're comfortable with.
Vashilota.
Or Vashinanikane.
Vashinanikane.
And over the years, it's like Vashilota or Vashinanikane has become more pronounced than DRIMZ. Yeah.
So, Uchiru Kabo?
Yes, I still stay in Kabo. Why do you want to make it sound like Umulstaringo Kikala
Kabo all the time? We have a business there, so I mean, Kabo is a beautiful town, and it has a lot of potential. It's
too much.
Yeah.
Too much.
But you know why I'm asking this?
Sure.
But musician needing ngaba pisha. Cook.
Yeah, I usually get that a lot. Like, what is that one thing that has just kept you glued to Kawe Town? And I think people really do things based off, what they want to achieve in life and based off their conviction. I think I share a very sentimental relationship or attachment with Kawe Town. Yeah, I remember when I was coming up, there was this narrative that you could not make it big from Kabwe. And there were examples that were being thrown in my face, like, look at this artist, the moment he left Kabwe, things started happening for him. Look at this artist. But I had to stay, and I said, if I'm going to be the artist that is going to make it big from Kabwe and still stay in Kabwe, I'll be glad to be that guy.
So nishurapitana sana pale huyo msemo te?
Too much. I do a lot of cross country, not just the
Because I'm meant to believe that a lot of ama gigs yashtika sana ku
Kurusaka.
eh,
Yes, but for an artist that has got the national character that I have, I don't only perform in Osaka. I have weddings as far as Livingstone. I have weddings as far as Solwezi. I have engagements as far as Mbala. I get engagements as far as Chipata. So it's not just Lusaka.
sana.
Yeah.
So you were born in Kabwe, right?
Born and raised, staying in Kabwe.
Let's speak about that. Which part of Kabwe were you born? And let's hear the
So
story.
going by
Then kukabo Mulandenshi kukabo Chivemba or Chinyanja?
what is the most pronounced? Chivemba. I think Kabwe has got Ichibemba more pronounced sana. Ichibemba. Nyanja I think in past station if na station number since bari if nyapo palia na tukatoka station kanyu.
Pesa para
For big bite.
For big bites.
From Sevo.
Yeah, but you know, I think for people who just drive past Murod Febapita Mukabwe, they really don't know what goes on in that town and you know how beautiful it is and the many other things that are available. You know, those of us that have an opportunity to go in, stay there for a few days. You know, you appreciate the town.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah.
And the town really holds a lot of you know, what can I say? Yeah, quite a history.
Yeah.
And the other year I went to the DC's office and we were trying to look at how now we need to promote, you know, the history of Kabwe town. Because this is a town that has got the Mukuyu tree that is on Indaramasham, Zambia. You get my point? There's also Mutoansofu, there's the mines, there's also Broken Hill. Well, that is why Broken Hill mine was discovered. And just last year we were signing a petition, where we were saying we want the actual skull of the Broken Hill man to be brought back to where it is supposed to be, and that's Kabwe town.
Okay.
Yeah.
So since Kukawe they speak a bit of Bemba and all of that, I think we'll try and fuse in a bit of Bemba here.
Even Nyanja,
yeah. So that we can connect to as many people as possible.
Yeah.
You know, from Kabwe. So you're born there. Let's speak about that.
Yeah.
Which part of it? And
I'm a third born in a family of 6.
Yeah.
Nafyedwe kulingana na afya shofu balenje.
Tawashininkisha.
Kulingana na afya shofu balenje. You know afya shofu stawa kwete ila speech kwa ati they want to engage in a conversation with you, so they'll just give you one word answers where it is just saying I'm not interested in your questions. You get my point? Yeah. So now, after a while, now you begin to interrogate those moments, like what was really going on. My father was a teacher. He was married to one Nelly Kawewe, my mother. She's late now. Later on, he got a job with President Citizenship College, which was PCC then, which is now Mulungushi University.
Mulungushi University.
Yes. Okay. So from Lukanga to Alisa Kuka, we went to stay in PCC. And Kulakwino PCC, that is why I picked up a few interests. I was so much of a football person.
But I support the Kabwe Warriors.
Even before I even knew that Kabwe Warriors did still exist. Yeah, even Bola Mkombon, you know where, because that Kombon was almost like it was secluded.
Kuisa Kulukanga or PCC?
No, PCC.
So usumaponi kuisa Kulukanga or PCC?
I don't even remember Kulukango Fukaremonga because I was too young.
You're young.
I was too young.
Okay.
So with PCC, twaitimune sana kutia Bola Mkombon, and we would go and play.
Mwalete mpapa ole chimpombo.
First one bile mpapa. You're taking me back to old days now. Impapa to aleitera, ichimpomo to aleitera sana mroad. Mwaisha to mroad, then mwabiko to mabwe. Dimbiti mudiri uku, and it was so serious that whatever nama emotions, you know how awe kalanga ni kuma A, wapusana nawe kala kuma B, but it's too much to organize baller because you just want this competition where ama teams are to compete, like who wins the bragging rights this weekend. You get my point. So kwa liwa fere na ifati mulete yako dainea Yeah, parody, but then there was also a football pitch okotwalea mkutea. Yeah.
So did you dream to be a footballer one day?
Yeah. I actually saw myself one day I was going to be a professional footballer. They used to call me Dennis Lotter.
Okay.
Yeah. They used to call me Dennis Lotter.
So what changed?
So there was a time that I went to a boarding school. I qualified to go to Mukush boarding school. Na ikereko fye one term. You know amaskulu yakale kwale bati nga nitocha zona. Era nishinali akanono. I just said, life dating kwanisha.
Yeah.
So when I came back from Mukush boarding, I nasa sangati muli line for one term. The friends that I used to play with, bonse badi ambokuya ku youth ku church.
Which church was that?
That was Word of Faith.
Okay.
Yes.
Ni Pentecostal.
It's a Pentecostal church.
Okay, great.
So initially, ifoto ale pepa ku UCZ. But almost all my friends were going to this Pentecostal church. So no manga afika weekend ila kwati mulingiruka mkutea bola. Bena kwa ale bat face balingiruka ku youth. Ero no manga bapushiro ba ku ground. So no manga kwa ale kwati waya ku ground ulifeweka. So until I said, it's better my guys inde bakonka. Ngana ikala to then tuamboga ku bola. Then this one time, the person that was leading the choir, he just reached out to me and said, brother, mulesa lionse kuno but mwete mukukala fe muchikona. To join yenko batena na ababudida. I was shy, but then
what did you know about singing at the time?
I just used to love music because I used to listen to Chameleon a lot. I used to listen to Winston Moyo. I used to listen to Danny. Ndara local rhythms countdown na lei ikarida. Na kalimba na katepu. I just love music. Yes. I remember owning Kawokman. So ngandia kubola kwa libati kakushetera kwa tepu munshirafira fine wa controller. So I used to have this love for music. And in our time twali kwata filatama variety show mwafishi bafide. Kwa liwe fima variety show ma 14 hours na musamba filafine wafala ila ine kaputure nchetekero wa mkumaimo kwa rimbo kwa Redrinso na Winston Moyo. So I used to love music like that. So this one day when I was invited to sit in the midst of the choir, inyimbo nishinalishishwe because I used to like frequent the youth meetings a lot. So after angu fwana imba guys ebere brother namukata tene ikali. Brother mfurikire mule isaimo. I tried to resist, but the guys, just kept on pushing to say no. Until I joined eventually I joined the church. And 2-3 months of being part of the praise and worship team, stroke the choir, I was chosen to be a leader.
No one couldn't so.
Let's just say I was leading people into the spirit.
What is about kupepesha?
I used to be a praise and worship leader.
Okay.
I used to be a choir leader and a praise and worship leader. Okay. So I would be the one to lead people into praise and worship. Yeah.
So at that point, which school did you go to? We didn't speak about that.
So bamdala balisheta. Atina kulipira ku boarding, but you have panga telefo ku boarding.
So what is abwela coffee?
Nasa abwela coffee. Shale mbele na mind of them.
Wali mfo chifukushi.
So nasa nalwala. After nalwala, nasa fuma kwe fironda hapa. So shale fuala ishati. So I couldn't go for class. Then I remember there was an outbreak of is it measles? There was an outbreak of measles. So nomba ya sangati lelo kwa fako.
Kola kwine?
Kumukush secondary. 2 days later kwa fana umbi. Then this one time turi mudingo na tutanta mature tufokusenda sample. Then one grade 10 asapona kwa kusama fiba musenda balefuma edge wambo kudida. Can't enough from guys.
Wow.
He was bleeding from the ears and the nose. So now kwa fako batatu. Ero nishi ninkwa tefiro ndapo. Mdara. Tepa kuikana. So even when we were leaving school, I didn't leave through the gate.
Wali turoka chubumba.
I had asked some grade 12s that liked me to say, na mwishiba. mpisheni kofu kwale ko twaleta at west.
Uh-huh.
That is where we used to answer the call of nature from, you know,
Yeah.
boarding schools, yes. So kwali fat namwishiba ntwaleni fe kunganda ine. So kwali kupita fe mumpanga ila ine bova to I remember twalisangirepo na mwibala lya ba teacher. But I know you are boys from Mukushi. I command you to make a 300 dance. I remember what he said. Hey, back to your dormitories. Napshamo njera 10 to 5 imbi. Until we had to find our way. Twashinguru for by the past station. Past station na pena kwali kubova vya kachola in one of the shops na badisha mataka kamoto kanga kaisa. That's how I found myself. They were not even expecting me back.
So nijua fikire mkapo. Did you go straight home or wale kana ba guy first?
Nadia fe kunganda. Nadi wala ine.
Yeah.
Nadia fe kunganda. And when my mom saw me, she broke down.
Yeah, because you're not looking okay.
Yeah, because I had lost so much weight and ninfala shirt but have not buttoned. Yeah. She broke down, but afyashibaka likachofu bali bena bali fena abashita but now wala na abashita. Big man.
Wawela chani.
So, nangpa kumfaile school, I started quite late going to Kalonga High School. And then bandala balanda ati ulingira wabwera ku boarding. Ati nshira mfaile po school dimbi alingira wabwera ku boarding. So now
then Queen tried to negotiate for you.
Yes, my mother was just the no, we should not take our son mono for wabwera kona few. Until afyasho fana kila mfemu timofu bantu Kalonga. So there's this funny story. He had friends at Kalonga because he once taught with some of the colleagues that were at that school. So like, nomba panoma spaces tapali. Umwali fe space ni mapiwazi. So fuva ishire ntwala mapiwazi.
Yari kosaga?
1 hour. Tafile panga sense.
So the was a fumam.
I went back to the deputy head because the deputy head, Mr. Kama, was friends with that. I just told him, you know,
mulakairi kwa kwa bantu abafite mafuta okutena mind.
Yes. And you know, I'm coming back from a boarding school where there was this laissez-faire kind of arrangement. You know, mapiwas tafile panga sense. Per break time, I just went back to the head and said, Then I remember him calling dad and say, your son, he's saying that he cannot manage in that class. Let me look for a different class. After break time, he found another class for me. So this man was feared when they just saw us walking per window. So now he comes in.
But deputy head?
Yes.
Okay.
He was a tough man.
Yeah.
So now, I've come class at you're going to be in this class. Then there was a teacher. Nishero ya pafe break. Then I was introduced. Then the madam said, okay, you are welcome. So number wala ikala pesa. Then there was one desk. Iyarife yeka pasenta. So kukalonga kwa lama desk oto aita tamatomboliro. So nafafe boarding and then I make a small board. And then one of the huge guys nokusanja wati iweka mwache ikalap. So then when I went to sit, elo pala pa kulembera the writing surface ya some from Mukoshu. Elo basa seka.
Dia di table ya makulu.
If my desk of bari pangati, pa kwikala bari chibika punch then pa kulembera npamu. So everybody was avoiding that.
Because ordinarily hadia kuli balaba kuli record it makes sense.
Yes.
But those days into sanga but school is still 50 same fields.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then that maths teacher, little did I know at everybody shire mulia can squad test your maths.
Same day.
Yes. So then she says, our new student, since you are coming from a boarding school, please just attempt to write this. Bampela kati paper. Tatu afisambira pwefi.
No,
tried. It wasn't just making sense. Anyway, when the results came out, I didn't get even 1%. It was bad. It was a bad start. Yeah, it was a bad start. But along the way, naikatika and yeah.
And you went on.
Yeah.
So after while you're doing this school, were you doing Tuma recordings, Tuma studio, these dark corner studios?
No, in that moment nishina music nishaibika sana kumana.
Yeah, so like a baller in school chap.
I was so much of an introvert.
Uh-huh.
I was so much of an introvert. So if yakweba ati kuli abantu shani shafitemene sana. And unfortunately, it has even spilled over to the guy that I am today. I don't go out when I'm performing. Even when I'm done performing, I don't clap. When I push up performer, nkunganda. So pakalonga, there was kwaleba idea at this class is presenting per assembly. So they would give you a song for the rimbo.
Yeah.
So then again, nishkai but nishinde mbako na kwaya nomba. So nomba kwaya tawe akagena kamwache kalaimba, and they used to pick on me. Akagena kamwache kalaimba iwe work PCC iwe. They used to bully me like that.
Yeah.
So when everybody heard me sing, and I remember in my class we had a guy called Cooks. He used to sing at Kawa Chapel.
Yeah.
I was like, he comes to me and says, brother, you have a good voice. Like, kuskulu then start brother. No, nani.
Yeah.
And they're like, so there's one of us in here. Kaina nekuchechi nishi. No brother. Yeah. So when I sang, I've been sang at the assembly, and our great teacher was like, you've got a good voice. So when I completed school, I got introduced to Menad Mchangwe. Menad Mchangwe is my cousin, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Menad is a friend of mine.
Yeah. He heard me sing one time and he was like, now what a voice is, I need to introduce you to someone that can help you, but I'll also be there to help you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's how he introduced me to one man called he's now late, Johnny Chanda. From Johnny Chanda, I met Amy Rhodes, I met Bob Muli as well. I met a lot of artists because they used to come to this studio that was in Lukanga. Yeah.
Before we get into the detail of your musical journey, let's speak about the time you were selling Salaula, Neftumbo.
So it comes at a later stage.
Okay.
It comes at a later stage.
When you're already introduced to this.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So then we move on. So from high school, what did you do?
So if we school je square bati ngawapusha grade 12. Kaitwale mba blue paper. Kuroela kwa 1 year pakita maliza out ya case. You remember?
Yeah.
It's not like the way it is now. Yeah. Like you had to wait 1 year for you to know your fate.
For you to know, yeah.
Whether you are a Unza suspect or foolish freedom fighter.
Yeah. It used to take long.
Yeah. So mukuloela my results. My dad actually encouraged me to do a computer, a 3 months computer course. So to attack, and then when the results came out, I sangati muri mathematics no wino, but if you are now control life win. So I said, but I've picked an interest muri fine computers. Why don't I just do because initially my father wanted me to do something different from what I did.
What did you want you to do?
But if I will be like, you just need to make me proud. And then you tell him to say, this is what I want to do. Like, no, my friend. Be serious with your life.
Yeah.
And there was this phrase in Kaonde you would say, mukashara nakuya ndange nafwa. Like mukashara mune chibulanga nafwa. Just to make you like, I need to choose the course that yes. And then I remember he had told me to recite mathematics. So I said, you're not going to go to any college until you recite your mathematics. And I should remember mathematics.
Some shari kosa.
So the next one was that if you have to write, it's better to come because even when I got a 7. So at the grade 12 exams, final grade 12 exams, I did a 9 in mathematics. Then I started sit, a 7. I was like, my father was like, wait.
The part improvement.
You're still in that bracket.
Yeah.
So he was like, no, you have to recite. So I said, interest, why don't I just continue since I've already done a 3 months course and the college is giving me an opportunity to advance through this course. That's how I found myself doing an information systems course under IMIS. Yeah. So I did foundation diploma at Mulungushi University. Then higher diploma, I did it at Cyber Academy here in Lusaka.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm also told that you worked as a lecturer.
Yes, I did.
Uh,
Yes, I did.
Finish walefunda.
Question of what's the fear, man?
Pushafye. Chimemba fena bomfya.
So after I completed my higher diploma,
Uh-huh.
I was one of the best students. So Greenwich University said, okay, uyoka kaya mkuchaya his degree,
Yeah.
kumufumisha kwa 1 year.
Okay.
So instead of doing 4 years, I was supposed to do 3 years.
Yeah.
So there was actually an invitation for me to go to the UK. But then they said, walafa ikoka for air ticket. But in Africa, kuno accommodation
Everything
and
else will
everything.
be sorted out for you.
But then it was so hard to find money to. So my father said, okay, just come back. Let's see how we can get you back into Mulungushi University. Because bade bomba ku Mulungushi University. Yeah. But then when I got back to Kabwe again, yasa sango ati nalichita 21 years. So policy yali ati if you are less than 21 years, you can enroll for free. But if you're over 21, you have to pay. So nomba ya sango ati na mane ya kuingilira nomba tapati. So there was like a computer that I was using when I was doing my high diploma. Yakona aluishefat number for kupango tuma beat. Started doing beats. That is where the Lois and Alol came from. I had a studio called Lois and Alol. So pangako tuma beat, firafine tuma beat. Nasa pangata it's better nkasteferize indala mane mwine kaitwale ku
school.
Numba namona ma beat kaitwale lipisha 70 kwacha. For a full production.
Yeah.
70 kwacha. Numba shikakona Luis Shachushon. You're in a 70 kwacha. Ulipo ushtemo tumakenva ushtemo shani. So kula sangatu wapanga lero mailota ukwetu.
Yeah.
So until such a time that I left my parents' house, went to stay in a place called Choa. Then
Choa.
Yes. Yes. So I said, life is sustainable son. Maybe njambefe kufako ka job. And one of my friends back in Kawe connected me to this school, college. It was Immaculata Business and Technical College. So I said that since you have a high diploma in an information systems course, I think you can come and occupy this position. That is how I got the job. So nare funda muli communication skills na IT, information technology. Yeah. But nishu kunde pushing na music. Yes.
Did you enjoy the lecturing?
I did. I created a relationship with the students. Because ama students abali kulia nishibali nishibakali atinda chako na music. So kwa leba ila inatinga wafika ulimfafe dreams. Get my point?
Yeah.
So number I only taught for I think 3 months. Because sasa ngati 2 months tatwa folere. Third month trace amkufola. Mosa fola half ya 1 month.
Wow.
So number ile half ya 1 month na transport na food kunganda taireshita.
Ero futi kushe in a monthly pay yadi at that time. Yadi enough.
Nkanga.
Yeah. Ero futi taishi le nomba
Yes,
problem.
yes.
Yeah.
So number ya sangati. I used to walk from Choa going into town. Ula mukufunda.
So abashaishi distance between Choa and town. What example can you give, especially here in Osaka, or you can say it in kilometers? Whatever you're comfortable with.
Sure, these days, para moneka pepe kashinga ni fituresha nomba. Koza kale. Tatwale wovero mzo kwale wokumfya shortcut. But nchina chero stiumo. You get my point. So it was quite a distance.
It was quite a distance.
Yeah, it was quite a distance.
Okay.
But I had to do it anyway because I was on that path into discovering myself.
So at this point, when you're making these beats and when you're doing what you're doing on your computer, did you meet any of these notable artists before they were?
Yes, I did.
Anything to talk about?
Yes, I did.
Artists like who? And how did you meet?
I forgot to mention that when I started my own studio, I linked up with Roberto.
Okay.
We linked up with Roberto, and he started teaching me a few things. So because this studio was by my parents' place, Kote Joko na Leikal.
Yeah.
So I remember one time when my computer broke down, we got a computer from a friend. in the midst of production twashedde afe ati amayo yayingira mu studio polokoto
Mm.
yamba okusokola ebintu kachiro omugazi watufere computer te computer yako
Yani
so
computer
ndevo
yana-
vere and amayo what the hell, Excel what the hell is this what the and then you know me and Roberto we knew to say this is not our computer and we're just like what is going on I mean our computer is something so that's in there kumana projects
Yeah,
yeah so when I was hanging out with Roberto I had an opportunity to meet General Ozzy back then when he coming for from his shows he would pass through home because General Ozzy and Roberto are from Kabwe.
yes.
Yeah. So he would tell me, so, no, my brother is passing, so you should come.
Yeah.
Just to go and see General Ozzy. Go, kwa mwekala muisha chimu team, malela baisa, navena Chameleon, navena Hamova, you say what's up? Wakunga ndazona, I
They
want to be
were
like,
under sling beats at the time,
yes,
isn't it?
yes.
Yeah.
They were the big boys.
Yeah,
They were the
I
big
remember.
boys. Yeah.
Hamova, Taitu,
Yes.
General Ozzy,
Chameleon.
Chameleon.
Yeah. Mampi, Tommy D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So nga bayisa kulya. You just
Wale wano
feeling-
kutina okula, ni ubusele bubwa ino so wakwe bati bali tutola. Celebrities wakala kwa lewo kutina okulonda na bena. Wamona fe skin of ile wamona kabiri yawe. Chinjimi nefe kuno queen.
So Roberto, but I also know that there's B-Flow
Yes.
from Kawe. Was
yes.
it?
Yes.
Did you interact at any point?
I met B-Flow through Damiano.
Mhm.
I met B-Flow through Damiano. There was a point that B-Flow came back to Kabwe. I don't know if he came to see the parents.
Uh-huh.
Then Damiano or D2 invited him over to my studio and he did a chorus for one of the artists that I was working with.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about Yo Maps in his days in Kabwe?
It comes at a very
At a very later
stage.
Okay.
It comes at a very later
Initially
stage.
Pishakade.
Yes.
So when did you realize that now Napisha? When was your biggest breakthrough?
So before the songs that people know me of,
Mhm.
there was a song called Muntu Chabe. It was big in Kabwe.
Mhm.
And another song called Tawakatende. But on a national scale, I had a song called Damadansi ya Mulolo.
Mhm.
This song was huge, but then because the sound had a copper belt feel, a lot of people attributed it to Afunika. So they actually thought it was an Afunika song. The following year, I did Irene Mambirima, and Irene Mambirima now just went like wildfire. So now I had Amadansi Amlolo and Irene Mambirima, but I didn't give a shefat na for Irene Mambirima. So when you are invited to go and perform, but that was to remember Amadansi, I'm like, we know what we Yeah.
I laughed. I was talking to there's an artist I was talking to. When you're performing in front of drunk people, sometimes they come iwe. Tewe dreams are so good. Imbolo na waimba dance wa iwe teine. Hawe love.
I experienced that.
Serious.
There was a time when we went to Chambishi with Chimskate.
Yeah.
And I don't know, for some reason, people kept thinking, no, I'm Dorica. So now I'm on stage. Inda feel muntu na said, "Alo bamze. Neti shosho mlemba. Weekend po Dorica na meka." Alo bamze posen kwa mano, weekend po Dorica. So there's always this mix up. Yeah.
So I hear that you're signed up with Sling Beats at some point. Did you sign up with them? Did you work with them? Did you do anything with them? At all?
So when Roberto came to Lusaka, after Batu Nyonga computer,
Uh-huh.
Roberto had to come to Lusaka. And at that point, I think Charlie and Drex had separated.
Mm.
You know Charlie Bravo and
I know
Drex.
Bravo.
Yeah. So there was a studio, there was a label that was, operation at that time. It was called, what was it called? Beatmasters. So they got Roberto.
Mhm.
So there's a song that we did with Roberto. So when Roberto sampled them that song, they loved my voice. Like, who's this guy on the second verse? And said, no, it's my friend from Kabwe. Now we need this guy on our stable too. That is how Roberto called me and they said, no, this guy wants you to come through and there's a contract for you. So on that record label, there was me, the late Levins, there was Henry, there was Roberto, there was me, and there's a lady, I've just forgotten her name. So it is through that establishment that I got to now even have a conversation with Venataitu, because they used to come and see Drex. Now I could talk to Chameleon. And I remember at some point, Chameleon took me in for a couple of shows as a backing vocalist. Who else as well? Who else? General Ozzy as well. Yeah.
Okay, this is the KDT One-on-One podcast. We're having a conversation with DRIMZ. Remember, we've got a new sponsor on board, Abalea Carpooling. Right? We'd like to thank our other sponsor, Yatu Tea, which is available in all leading supermarkets across the country. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back. This is the Kenny T One-on-One podcast. We're having a conversation with DRIMZ. It's brought to you by Yatu Tea and Abalea Carpooling. Now, DRIMZ, let's speak about your music in detail.
Sure.
Which artists, when you had the studio now in Kabwe, I know you've spoken about a few.
Sure.
I know there's quite a number of artists in
Sure.
in Kabwe that have come from there and so forth. Or maybe let me zero in on your maps, who's doing big things at the moment.
Sure.
How far back does your relationship go? How do you guys know each other?
Okay. By the way, I would like to correct you on DRIMZ. It's not just DRIMZ. It's DRIMZ Mr Muziq.
Okay, DRIMZ Mr Muziq. Thanks for the correction.
Yeah. So when I'd opened a studio in Kabwe, the most notable person that came out from the studio, besides Damiano, who was already established, is a guy called Devi. Devi. There's a song called Love Farmer. I produced that song called Love Farmer, and it was co-written by me and Vija. You remember this the short guy from the third?
I remember the
one who was
but
doing the
I
choruses
don't quite
for-
remember them.
There were three.
Yeah.
There was a guy that was small in stature. Ekarimbo tuma chorus sana.
Mm.
Yeah, so he is the one that wrote the chorus, and I did the verses, and that song was huge. Love Farmer. It was huge not only in Zambia but even in Malawi. Because I remember at some point the artist was also invited to go and do performances in Malawi. That is how huge. And from there, that is where the Ulwais and Alol even became more pronounced. Yeah.
Okay, so getting back to Maps, at what point did you guys meet? And what did you think of him in terms of potential?
I don't know. I'm trying so hard to run away from this conversation because
I think we'll look at the conversation from a very positive sense.
Sure.
We can't.
Sure.
There's no way we're going to have this conversation and not speak about Maps, because you're from Kabwe, he's from Kabwe.
Yeah. It is,
his story is not very different from yours.
Sure,
so it's
sure.
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure,
I understand you don't want controversy, but
it's bringing a lot of negative energy, but I understand the entertainment side of the business, and this is what the fans thrive on. And so maybe I would be speaking on this issue for the last time.
Okay.
Because then I don't want to look like I'm the guy that is going from interview to interview and just trying to.
And truth be told, we didn't bring you to this interview because of this.
No,
actually, I think you've been.
I think it's a coincidence.
We've scheduled you. We've wanted you to come for a very long time.
Yeah,
and it's a coincidence that there are also these other things that are going on.
Yeah. But fast forward in 2017, 2017, I was listening to a radio station, a Kabwe radio station, and I heard one song play, and then there was this distinct voice. I remember calling the DJ that was playing at that particular time. Boy, ulimbo wachiri sholo. Ni nani umwa ichoyo? Ate mfika sana. Ngabika mfika confidence in one time. In fact, achipa kuno ku studio na wanangu. He just got your number. Then ampera number yako. That's how I got his number. And I called him. So this is DRIMZ. Bakamba. No, chumfoli mbolowe, and I think you've got something. Person Kulwangwa, Shansan, ampela ma directions. I come through because I'm not doing anything. That very afternoon, I drove to Luangwa to go and meet him up. I found him with a couple of his friends. We had a conversation, and he played me one song called Njikata Kuboko. I was like, I know, I've not promised me a Mbolu, but in America, I said, I will remember Fapo. In fact, we'll learn radio. It's a good song. Let's just go just like this. I said, Wakamba, please, I need your voice in this song. That is how, and the song was big in Kabwe and on the Copper Belt. So when I met him, he was in grade 11, and looking at the potential that I saw and the desire that he had just to make it in the industry, I had to make sure that he completed school. This is a conversation that I had with him. I said, okay, we are going to work together. I'm going to help you, but then you have to finish school first. But I'm a weekends because he was in Chiwombo for school.
Yeah.
That is where he was actually coming from.
Mm.
Yeah. So, but my weekends guys, and I remember we used to have these road shows with BBC Media Action. They would jump on, and I remember one time talking to BBC Media Action. I didn't like the fact that each time we would go for these road shows, you were waisana motoka, and then these upcoming artists bakolonganika abantu, then ingawapusha performer abayiche balenda panshi. So I said, you see, I don't think we can be addressing one injustice and perpetuating another injustice, because these people that are bringing the audience and inende isave mkwimbanisha abantu nabesa, I don't think we are being fair to my friends here. So balipira for something. And I remember one of them said, yes, I remember one of them said, we work on budgets. So for this project, budgets have already been set. So I said, okay, from my money, fumeniko percentage at least, nanguma 300. Tafire mwene kabuino, nuobo wa chisa last, futu wabo wa first, wamuna haba nuwe baringira ma shortcut. I don't think it is right. So, after I completed school, we started working on his stuff. He got signed to a label called Pollywood. There's a guy called Danny from Kawa. He used to work for Kawa Municipal Council. He had a big house. He got Mwape in, gave him a studio. That is where now I started, trekking to days when I'm free. Started working on his stuff. I remember one time even bringing Drifter from Lusaka just to come, and because I wanted him to get the exposure, because I saw mwachakula bati wamfave muntu ofalembo waisi bati uyutapaka kokole ngatwa pushing afe.
To be very honest, look, I'm following Zambian music now more than ever before. But many years ago, before Your Maps blew, I bumped into somebody who told me, they just mentioned in passing, to say, very soon he'll be the next biggest thing.
Sure.
I didn't pay attention, and before I knew it, and the name sounded a bit strange to me.
Yeah.
And before I knew it, he was doing it big. And I think it's a similar thing. They must have seen the potential as well.
Yeah. So we started pushing. I remember calling a few of my industry peers. Like there's a boy that I'm working with, and I think he's got potential. I would love you to jump on one of his songs as a way of. There was one time I was asking Smooth IK for a spot for him on Smooth Talk. I know Smooth IK might not remember, and I would get a stick for mentioning this, but I mentioned to him to say, I have a boy that I'm pushing. I would want you to listen to him and give him a spot on Smooth. Then he said, right now, we're not doing upcoming artists, because I think at that point, maybe the ratings for Smooth Talk were going down. You needed to bring...
they needed to push them up,
So he says, we'll see what we can do. So in that instance, then I realized to say, I have to find a way of how to expose this guy. I got him on one of my songs. There was a time called Rea Shupire Mulusaka Idia Baingisha Masoja. You remember? We did a Keep Zambia Clean song. Then I sent it to ZNBC, and they instantly loved it. And they said, can you come to the studio? That is how we went to the studio. I went with Your Maps. So when Smooth IK listens to the song, he listens to Your Maps' verse, and then he came to like, this is the boy that I've been trying to tell you about. Kapa said, no, boy is good, but let him keep on, just keep pushing him. So when I got that from Smooth K, then I realized to say, so uyu muntu afunika ati akabwera wa DRIMZ bali hapa but mpushing vintu vake. That is how I got him on my effort song. We did that effort song together. We did the video. Then when we were promoting the effort song, he had done a song with Makitu. Went to ZNBC. I remember asking DJ 800. Nati akamfana kanga kaliko na nyimbo ni kati. Pia mchita setup chani hapa. Kazi hili zako nyimbo. And then he said, I was in maliza nyimbo za many scenes. Like, no, just try to play the guy. But when people have reservations, you cannot, 1 month down the line, the song is a hit. finally is finally playing
That was a
everywhere.
big song.
Smooth IK calls me and he says, Iwe, there's this song. It's got your touch, but people are saying a boy is from Kabwe. Who is this boy? Like, it's
That one I brought.
that's the same one I brought for Keep Zambia Clean and Effort. Which effort? The same effort song. Alimo munyimbo ija. No. We need him on the show. 800 was playing for a certain wedding. He also calls me and says, when nifuna kwa nyimbo at finally bavuta kuno wedding the artist is from Kabwe. Manje ni ndani huyu. Kawamene mfana wewe unakana. Unama ija nyimbo yenze slona unaimbelela kuti kuzi unakana kuidisi.
Yeah.
That is how I sent the song to him, and from that time it started graduating until, but before that I would get him for my shows. I would just try to give him that exposure, even in Kabwe, give him that exposure. Even when I was doing my own interviews, I would not just mention his name and just to make sure that.
So for all those things, what was in it for you?
So when you look at me, I'm a product of not only my hard work, but other people's sacrifice and quantifiable help.
Mhm.
So I feel like success is not success if you just keep it to yourself. I'm not one person that is shy to share my light with others. I don't hold back when it comes to putting on somebody that I feel they deserve that spot. I met J-Max in 2011. We did a song with J-Max. Unfortunately, my computer crashed and that song. But later on in 2018, we did a song called Here For You. And last year we did a song single. So these are people that are coming from. I was so inspired with the way the Copper Belt artists came up. And I wanted to use that concept to say, if Dandy Crazy can bring Makitu can bring Shefi can bring Afnika, who can bring Binel, we can also do it in Kabwe. And I remember when I was mentoring your maps, I kept mentioning this to say, I don't want you, when you make it big, to come and pay me with money or sing a chorus praising me. It will make me happy if when you get to the top, na waka sendeko artist, ukamba kumupushinga na iwe. Even the next artist should do the same thing for the next artist. Then I'll be a happy person. That is me. I loved the way Makitu, because I once stayed on the Copper Belt with Makitu, and I saw how many artists were flocking to his place. At first, I used to get irritated, but then I realized to say, this is the guy that naturally people are gravitating towards because there's a certain element in him that is very unselfish. Like if he wants to put you on, he'll put you on.
Yeah.
And I remember moving with him to shows. We had gone to Livingstone, we had gone to Mongo, we had gone with him. And I could see how he would do his thing. And I said, the day mwele samuka kama people, and I want to do the same for my people in Kabwe. Yeah.
Great. So your relationship with Maps now is a bit strained, correct?
That is public opinion now.
So what I want at the end of the day, the reason we're even speaking about it is I want us to set the record straight.
Sure.
And maybe have a conversation that puts an end to any misconception that's around this. So how is your relationship now? Or maybe before I speak about the relationship, Maps spoke recently about Boomplay. What's your take on what he said?
You see, I like I mentioned, I'm trying so hard to run away from conversations that will continue to put me in bad light. But then I understand that I cannot control people's emotions and people's opinion. And the best thing that I can do is just to speak the truth.
Yes.
And I would rather be on the side of the truth.
Yeah.
I genuinely think there could have been a better way to bring this issue out than coming out the way he did, especially on foreign soil. There has to be a sense of patriotism. There has to be a sense of, you see.
So I'm not aware that conversation happened not in Zambia.
It was in Malawi.
Okay.
It was in Malawi.
Uh-huh.
And I think for me, what like I mentioned, we host a lot of foreign artists in this country. There's never been a time that I know of that a foreign artist has come to discredit other people or other artists
Other
from
artists
where they are coming
from their
from.
country.
We're at a place where music now is thriving on collaborations and not competition. Nigerians are doing it big because of collaborations. How many times do we see Davido vibing to a Burna Boy song nowadays? He goes into a club, he finds a Wizkid song, even when there was that friction. But when it comes to industry interest, I think there is need for us to exercise that patriotism. If I go to, I've been to Namibia and I've been on their national broadcaster, and I'm asked about Zambian music. I recognize the fact that there are artists that went to Namibia before me, and they have notable names. They will tell you about Oga family, they will tell you about Shaiman, and I would recognize, like, yeah, these are guys that have opened for me to even be here. These guys have opened way for me. And Zambian music right now is the thing. The reason why I'm here, it means Zambian music is, and there are a lot of artists
it's
doing
happening.
great things back in my country, and I know for a fact that I won't be the last Zambian artist coming here to do great things.
DRIMZ, what did he say on that interview? Sorry, I didn't see it. Maybe I should
I
have
only
watched it
saw
before.
I only saw a bit of it, where he was saying he has 75. If my memory serves me right, he said he has got 75. Is it 74 or 75 artists on his portal, and Zambian artists are getting paid because of him from Boomplay, and that he had the power to instruct. He had the administrative power to instruct whoever he would instruct to say, "Uria mumufumye papa poto yandi shirefare for kwendalama." And for me, that is where I said there could have been a better way to say this thing.
Did you call him? This is your guy. Pick up the phone, hey guy. Barata wala ndile bwino. Or you're not at a level of calling each other anymore. Because things change.
True.
To be honest, I think you've
true.
from the time you met, you've grown, you've achieved more.
Sure.
Maps has grown, he's achieved more.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes when there is growth, there is power, there is money.
Yeah.
It's normal that things don't remain the same.
True. That's very true.
Yeah.
That's very true. That's very true.
So did you pick up the phone?
I didn't.
But you spoke about it on an interview.
I spoke about it on social media.
On social media.
Yes.
Okay.
I spoke about it on social
What
media.
were your sentiments on social media?
I just said I don't think we should take pride in any one of us. Am I supposed to say that?
It's on social media.
I said we should never take pride in any one of us, arrogantly discrediting or speaking ill of an industry that has birthed a lot of great personalities, that has birthed a lot of great stories.
It's a decent post, I think it's.
There's no harm in working together and just recognizing that you're coming from an industry. You see, for me to even be called an artist is because there's Chester there, there's Rich Busy, there's Daddy, so there's everyone else. It's an industry. And I honestly believe that there's no one artist that we can use as a benchmark to define an industry. You are just part of the industry. I'm just part of an industry. The industry is bigger than the artist. There's no artist that is bigger than the industry.
Am I wrong to assume that maybe the reason you did not pick up the phone to speak about it? Because, sometimes also when we're having interviews and so forth, it's easy to say the wrong thing without realizing it.
True.
But I'm thinking, by the mere fact that you didn't pick up the phone and call, I'm sensing that the relationship has not been the same.
I think you'd be right to think like that.
Speaking, you know why I'm saying this? DRIMZ, I think this is the longest I've had a chat with you.
Sure.
And I'm sitting and I'm seeing a lot of wisdom coming out of you that I never knew existed to this level. And I'm saying this with respect.
I appreciate,
right?
Sir. I appreciate.
But using the wisdom that I'm seeing here, it's not connecting to see that a man with the level of wisdom I've seen here and maturity does not pick up the phone and call. The only reason a man like you would not do that is because there's a problem.
I don't want this interview to narrow down to speaking personalities and personal relationships.
Okay.
But maybe
find a way of answering, obviously, without.
So therefore, mwandishi wakula baida yako bati you cannot constantly be in someone's space every time something happens.
Mhm.
You know, when something happens and
Mhm.
you come to me and say, DRIMZ, not for
Not
Suwilanji,
Suwilanji. Uh-huh.
I would listen. The second time again, DRIMZ, not for Suwilanji. I'll begin to think, Baba mdala wanishe baba fe. As humans, it's normal sometimes to be exactly my point. So imanga mwasa mwalanda ati DRIMZ esatwikale panshi tulande pali ili yashi ino nambo kumaso mwatu mafuta DRIMZ esatwikale panshi tulande ko pali ili yashi futi then yafika pa point pako bati ngamwambona katuleposhana nokuposhana. I'm not saying that is the case, but then yasango afi ati it's tafire because fila chitika.
Okay.
Because fila chitika.
Yeah.
I mean, you work with a lot of people, so you understand that sometimes.
I work with a lot of people. His face is familiar. I know the guy. I meet him out in thingy, but he was small. Yeah.
So
happened.
then
Yeah.
I think it is just right that you withdraw. Yeah. You cannot constantly be in someone's space. And every time you're in that space, you want to talk about things. The human instincts in them would tell them to say, "No, big man, ndio nzeni ishi ngakuli problem wale bakala tumafe." Because honestly, when somebody is doing fine, and this is somebody that you helped, kwate chirumba.
I mean, if you become proud.
Yes.
At the end of the day, I think
Yes.
if your goal was to see someone succeed and they succeeded,
Yes.
it makes you feel happy. You know, you're proud of.
Yeah, you know how
you and knowing that you're part of the journey. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know how muleta mbati vero I saw a video yako and then your son is saying, "Yeah, daddy, your friend.
Yeah.
Daddy, there is your friend. That's my boy."
So this boom play issue. I mean, I saw stuff on social media with others calling for artists to, sort of like boycott boom play in Zambia. From an artist's point of view, this has nothing to do with maps or anybody. Just this is boom play. What is the story? What is going on? What's your perspective?
So from the little knowledge that okay, ne? From the little experience and that I know of, I was never a fan of. I've never been a fan of boom play.
Okay.
And I think even going back to my posts, I have never at any point glorified or shared a boom play link. Because I noticed that the numbers that we were getting on boom play were not tallying with what was organically happening on the ground.
Okay.
Because explain to me how a DRIMZ song would get 20 million streams, and yet the next person that listens to Zambian music doesn't even know about that song. I thought there was something that was off.
Because you're able to see.
Yeah, like
even where you go, and some of the people that go, you go to a party, you go to a club, it gives you an idea. You listen to the radio, you know what people are requesting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now there was that disparity, like, wait a minute, there's something that is just not adding up. Okay? And I had my own reservations when it came to boom play.
Were you thinking they were favoring certain artists?
The instinct in me, these are not just genuine numbers. Because look, you're in this business. You understand demographics. If a DRIMZ song gets 10 million views or 10 million streams, what are the demographics? Who's listening to that DRIMZ song? And I would like to believe that for you to get even close to 5 million, it should not just be the Zambian space listening to your song. If this song, this album, 30 million streams, why is it that there's no demand for this artist, even just here in Osaka for shows? Why is it that there's no demand for this artist just in Namibia here where they listen to Zambian music? Why is there no demand for this artist in Malawi where they appreciate Zambian music? Why is then there not demand for Uganda also listens to Zambian music? Because Mwankole was huge in Uganda. Amarula was big on organically big in East Africa. Ozzy's song was organic, and you could see these artists travel, go to. But you look at the Zambian landscape, Shirotana kwata shinga million streams, but per weekend at Panganda. I think it should be able to translate into actual demand.
Yeah.
And if you see that the numbers every day they're graduating, like, wait a minute, who's listening to my music? And I think if they could have been able to provide us with demographics and say, oh, Bashirota, not really that. I'll give an example of single. You saw how even Namibians and Zimbabweans jumped on the trend and they started saying, we've hijacked this song. He's our artist now. And I had to physically go and perform in Namibia. Not 1, but 3 times. So what was happening online was translating into actual demand for the artist. Even Zimbabwe was calling me for events. Unfortunately, the times that Zimbabwe wanted me for events, I had already other engagements. Botswana also. So now looking at Boomplay, my numbers are mwekakati yakutiuna
What you have
tuakusuinga.
So your opinion is that you
I think those were
the
not genuine numbers.
Were not,
And
genuine.
I honestly believe it could be the reason why even the payouts from Boomplay were not, because how are you going to pay people from numbers that are not
May
genuine?
not be genuine.
Yeah.
Let's speak about your song, Mwankole. It's one of your biggest songs, isn't it? So what is your inspiration with that song?
It is just creativity and craft.
Were you a politician?
No, unfortunately not.
But then how did it come out like a political song at the end of the day?
I should be asking the people, why did they interpret that song as a political song?
You were inspiration of Misha Quiz.
So you see,
Who wrote the song?
I did. I'm a songwriter. I write my own music.
Because it was creatively written, but it looked to me like there was a lot of, there's a lot of artistry in it.
Sure.
To a point where, you're throwing some metaphors in there. You're leaving room for people to sort of like make their own assumptions of what they think the song is about.
True.
But I think you on your own, you know what you're talking about.
So the inspiration from that song is actually gotten from the Bible.
Okay.
You remember when Noah sent Chimwankole, when the water had subsided, what did the Mwankole do? Found carcasses, started helping itself. But it was on a mission. And I would like to believe that God uses musicians, and musicians are prophetic. There are certain songs that are just, when you listen to Danny's Yakumbuyo, back then, it never made sense. You'd think like, maybe it was directed at somebody. But then when you listen to it today, like, so this guy knew that at some point this thing was going to be
he knew things were happening at the time.
Exactly my point.
Yeah.
So, but for me, I got that inspiration from the Bible, and in all fairness, I never really thought that the song was going to spark a political debate.
So what kind of a backlash did you get from a political side of things?
I'm sounding a political number.
So let's
the
talk about
people loved the song, and
they still do.
Should I say unfortunately or fortunately, they had a similar story to tell in that particular season. Mwadishwa intersection set.
So it was looking like it's referring to the current sitting government then.
With them. With the majority of Zambian people. You see how people respond to music based off how they connect emotionally, and maybe something.
Yes.
This guy that I keep referring to, there are certain times you just tell me after to push up with my hotel, Bali, I'm going to a club, I just want to listen to this song.
Yeah.
And I don't hold him back, because maybe that is a song that there's a situation that he remembers and he just wants to relive that moment.
Probably has a personal connection.
Yeah. And I honestly feel the song came at a time when majority of Zambians had a similar story to tell. And it was just like, okay, here.
So what sort of things did you go through? You used to receive my phone.
Yes. The first phone call that I received, unfortunately, I remember the current president, HH. He was in, I don't know if it's Lupososho or whatever, and he was playing that Mwankole on his live.
Oh.
Then someone called me and they said, Iwe, HH already showed him kurari okobali. Like, are you sure? Hey. Then as I was trying to log into my Facebook at Intambe Live, I received a call. Then, Nasuka, on the end, there was this voice. Hey, you what dreams are? And you know, first instinct is basho. Down payment, ya Monek.
Yeah.
And then he just said, yes, this is dreams. So we chatted kutuwa operation about opposition urimbo. I'm like, what do you mean? Hey, natu monaka ina opera wa opposition urimbo ule itaba boss ati shan. Ule endera mumuru.
Tulendera mumuru.
Then I cut the call. Another number calls me. It's the same guy. And he says, hey, what DRIMZ? This is not DRIMZ. This is the DRIMZ's manager. Hey, ba manager kumona DRIMZ wenyo ino mule endera mumuru. Tukesa michitefia oyo. Then I just decided to brush it. Like, it's just one of those things. But then it started becoming louder and more scary because now cadres now could just physically confront you. And I remember one point, because kula kuchoko na reikala kwa lefeni mumbari mwa road. Ngabale pito bush barenda tukesa kochera mukanganda kokeni chabana chakuti. Until one of the guys just alerted me to say, you know, there are people that are planning this kunganda kumove. So if you have a way of just shifting kuka kufi kunganda, please, these people, you don't want to find yourself, you know, facing eyeball to eyeball with these guys. Ndala nale kuka 22 hours. 22 hours and nabane batabaishe first. Kwa mwene kwa tete. Then he comes, neighbor, what is happening?
Yeah.
Like, kwa tifwe, tuwafumapopano. So it's only after 2 to 3 years that people realized that I was still in Cabo. And my shows started getting cancelled last minute. So kwa leba ati mwali mfwana bali kupelana down payment a week before the show bakutumina fefone ati no, the CIO, the police, whatever, they've said no, you cannot bring that artist here because he's anti-government, so there's a directive here. Then the space just started shrinking. I remember one show Narem performer na C5 in company of the C5 here at so apparently there was a plot to come and harm me, and one of the people that was in that meeting called B-Flow and he said, boy, inendu wakawe but nafumamulika meeting namachita assign if nyamu, and some of the guys that have been assigned, they are armed. So please just tell DRIMZ not to go for that show. And apparently, I was scheduled to perform at Paddy Blues. And Paddy Blues belonged to the now Minister of, is it Green Economy or Water? Mike Imposha. Honorable Mike Imposha. So their thinking was, but Mike Imposha is a UPND aspiring candidate. Then this guy has done a song called Mwankole. So practically, you guys will be having a rally in the night. That was their thinking. So we're not going to, we will send our soldiers there. So B-Flow sent me the conversation that he had with that man. I forwarded it to Mr. Mposha. Then Mposha forwarded ku division. Then ku division, let the artist come. These are the people we're looking for. So what we will do is, to send a few plain clothes, officers. Then we want these people. Let the show go on. I remember that night, kwa lukuya mma taxi 1-1. Ama dancers vanina kwei, uyu manager nina kwei, na yo wanina kwei.
Nish.
Ukula tina feka ibali tuishi, bali moto kandi bali ishi. So you don't want to meet them greatest makwa state ukone ke wambo kuwerera. Kulorera and about uko. You get my point?
But at that time, as an artist, you are an artist, yes. But now things that some of the political decisions that the politicians make, you know, one day or the other they affect you or they affect the lives of your children.
Very true.
So, did you choose a side at the time? Because others will say, I know musician, abapakati, but futhi uri muntu fie.
I don't know if I don't want to start getting into political conversation, but at that point, I used to love the PF. I was a pro PF.
Okay.
My wife would even attest. Say, Imwe.
So
But then
yeah.
when I saw how they started treating me and how they started treating people, I felt like there was need to address. I remember putting up a post on Facebook addressed to His Excellency the late Edgar Lungu. I said, this violence that we are seeing now, if it remains uncontrolled, you will have no Zambia to govern. And I remember by then I had an endorsement deal with the UN under WFP, World Food Program. And I remember my boss calling me to say, Lota, what have you done? Why have you written that article? Now you are getting us in problem. And I said, Madam, before being an ambassador, I'm a citizen of this country. I have children. And if I've seen that there's an injustice or there's something that needs my voice, in all honesty, you don't expect me to keep quiet and see people hacking each other because I'm a brand ambassador. I have to say something. So when she went back to read the post, she was like, that's a very good article. Because you cannot be a brand ambassador when there are dead people around. But then from the other camp, and then in that instance, I started thinking to myself, what will we do to correct this? Because this is not the Zambia that I want. This is not the Zambia that I want to live for my kids.
But did you eventually start making money off that song during the elections?
Sadly, I have never made money that I was supposed to make from that song.
But you made some money.
If I've ever made money, it's because I'm DRIMZ.
Okay. All right, fair enough. But during campaigns, I know that a lot of artists, they perform because you're trying to make money, right? They perform for different political parties and so forth. Have you done that before? Huh? Has he performed before?
No. The only no, when it comes to campaign rallies, I have never been to a campaign rally to perform.
Yeah.
The only time that I've been to a place where it's only this year that I went for the public engagement where the president came to Kabwe.
Okay.
And I think they just saw it fit to say we cannot come into this space minus bringing these revered artists here.
Did you sing Wamonko?
The president loves that song.
Of course.
I performed it before he came, and I left. When he came, there was your Maps on stage.
Okay.
So Maps did his thing, and then I was almost even, because I had parked outside. And I was like, no. The president wants you to perform that song.
Yeah. Because he loves it.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's beautiful stuff. Let's speak about your record label. You've got a label, right?
I did.
Okay, you don't have it
not
anymore. Why did you decide to change course?
So there's one eventuality that led me to even stop producing music.
Okay.
As in being a producer. I was a producer, by the way. Remember, I produced Irene Mambirima.
Yeah.
I produced Mpaka Fio Bushuku. I produced Amadansi Amlolo. So after na hitting, I actually met the Chief Justice, late Irene Mambirima. So after nakumana wa Chief Justice, the story was all over, and then the narrative was valimperenga and valimperana 400 million.
So bakupera poshinga pari 400 million.
Valimpara. Let's say she blessed me.
But ngengani?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this one time, akalumba kasa uma munganda. Nishero na fuma pofe. But then my wife was there with the kids, 2 kids by then. And ndafira okusa understand.
Do you think pali wakatumini?
The superstitious me would think if itakuwa bevi.
But justification from nowhere atakalumba kauma pangani.
Ndala twali ku nichero nashitire chichesa na kwete chimotoka chichesa. So kungaziona nashitire ali bikeko chi exhaust. So nomba kwale bati uli uko bakumva ati uyo ali pito. Then I said no, this is a security concern. With the 400 pin story, you know, running around.
Yeah.
Kuti waireterera. So na bero guys nati tiye nje mfumisha chi exhaust. Because my wife actually told me to say, your father-in-law is coming, so he wants to have lunch with you. Then one of the relatives that had a funeral. So I said, you know, I'm done. So if you're going to that's how I left. So now when we were at the garage, so I was even the first one saying, akakalumba nake payo muntu ngati kule wako ndava kugwira kamupa kamupeza lero aka. 5 minutes later my wife calls me and says, muli kwisa nje nchiri ku garage nachikwati njire kwisa lero ngati wafa. What do you mean? Imwe iseni kunganda ndesheni. What do you mean? Imwe iseni kunganda kalumba nako munganda.
Wow.
The only thing that I remember is my friend picking me up.
What do you mean? What is happened?
Nshishi bevi achitike.
Also Marvin black.
You know, ichupo chanyu, kulina kamwana kanyu.
Yeah.
Kulina nyimbo chanyu, ni wewe new artist, everything new. Yeah. And then atakalumba kauma munganda.
Kakena kalumba chanda nake pa
Yes. And then guys, boy niche. Boy, Anji karika peri. I remember Anji karika peri. And it says, niche boy, nata boy, kalumba kauma munganda. Awe boy. Awe. Pamda, nampusha motoka. Tufuku ya hivyo. Awe, lo tuwa soko la so tringe tu say, taxi. That's how we go to the taxi. Rushed home. I found my father-in-law. Nawe minina kumusebo. The first thing he said to me is, Sani, God loves you. If you are God in Sharifu for no funfo. What has happened?
What has happened, yeah.
So I was trying to get into that. He was like, no, relax. Let me walk you to where everything has happened. Ofo ba iseni twala kunuma kasa umamuchibumba kambi kasa konke ntambo putwala yanike fya kufwala kasa umapanshi muneba TV blue na yellow. Then kambi ofo kaishire konka bondi kapita ku bedroom y'abana mpaka pali studio. And I remember I was recording a project that day. So the only thing that got bent was my studio.
Wow.
The only thing that survived my speakers.
So
because Nadia Shimish.
So what's your interpretation of this that happened? Because umfika sana hivi.
So I remember after my in-law Bampshamo, I'm trying to make sense of everything. The neighbors had called they had called their mother abayichepa neighbor. So ndio mfo muntu alepunda kumusewe bamuleka fyo mwayiche na nyimbo imo bale fo kumula basike. Which auntie has already gotten news of akalumba kuma munganda? You get my point?
Yeah.
Because like, how is she saying bamuleka fyo mwayiche? Thinking, aunties are very fast. Then sasa ngati ni ba neighbor. Because now abalondora akalumba nako munganda muri banko DRIMZ na kocha na TV yesu.
Yeah, wow.
So she came rushing from work as well. So now ndeba monata bamuleka fyo mwayiche eruri ne fyo rimbo mo very for kumwipaya. I'm thinking to myself, babe ne fyo kuipaya.
That's very strange though.
Yeah.
So at that point you wanted to quit?
I quit production.
Oh.
I quit production. I had 10 artists that I was recording under my studio.
How long ago is that?
This is 2015.
So up to now,
I've just vowed that I'll never open a studio kunganda.
Well, let's not meet to Casa Buena.
Limbinga baishi na yusuka studio.
It's unfortunate, and I think look, the good thing is that the kids were okay.
Sure.
You know, the madam was okay.
Sure.
You're not in the house.
Sure.
You can only imagine what kind of a situation it could have been. If maybe you're in the studio or anything like that.
Yeah.
You know.
And you know, if ngakali basangire ba madam nangomwana, you know what the narrative would have been. Adibika kunyimbo, because there's no, you know, there's always this nyimbo shako sharira sana, like what is
ngefye vana
happening.
ndio futi kugaraja tirimbi kwaliwo wako makamu
Exactly. So I just thank God that you know, I've picked up a lot of lessons along the way. And I think this is what has really helped me to mature and ukuba faithful for now, because of my experiences, you know, personal experiences and just experiences with people.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the music industry, shefya mitifya bwangomo fya basana.
Amali ashayo kula batu wa ku studio wayasanga. And there are people that I cannot give a testimony of something that I've not experienced. But there are people that maybe in passing on mfafe umuntu alanda. And then I don't know if I should be saying this, but Jerry Fingers once told me to say, Mufana I voice usakaende kulikonse ulichabe mushe so chabe shirota. Usakankale monga wanzako. And you think he's just saying it, but then
But I was talking from
that ule muntu abamukati begins to put one on one together.
So DRIMZ, as we head towards the end of our conversation today on this podcast, the music industry, how easy is it? Like, is it easy for you as an artist? Are you comfortable with all the artists? I've had artists here that have said, because the industry makes me uncomfortable. There's jealousy, there's this. How do you navigate through and still be the person that you are?
I don't know if I should be saying I'm a friend to everybody, but I'm not friends with everybody. I don't know if that makes sense. With a few experiences that I've had, I think I have learned over time how to draw certain lines. Sometimes we mix energies. And in the process, sometimes we mix with wrong energies. Until there's an eventuality that happens, then you begin to realize to say, oh, iffy. I have a lot of people that I talk to in the industry. Some of them are brothers that I share a relationship that goes beyond just music. There are artists that I can call at 02, say, boy, ngwata pressure. There are artists that I can call nangunga nshkwete ya fuel. Nala mtu minanjera, boy, mbikira ko nani kani mwitanki. This is a person that I know. My daughter kalandate, but DRIMZ very bashupa, because we are cosmopolitan of people, and we don't have the same characters. We don't have the same beliefs. We don't have the same convictions. We don't have the same goals, and it is just the concept of life.
So, as an artist, do you have like a role model?
I do.
Who's that, and why?
I look up to Danny. Even in my coming up, I used to look up to Danny. I used to look up to Exile, Afunika, Chameleon as well. So you realize that as an artist, takwaba artist wingesa and the fact inena is safin shalero show once. We are all a product of an inspiration somewhere.
The awards, the Kwacha Music Awards. we need to speak about that before you go.
Who was writing this script?
Shirota.
I think I've got an idea.
We trust research kai. So our research naba mbera question hapa.
Mwamba tambo.
Tufuna to episha tufuna kuishiba kai.
Namuswandelana sana efshinga pakata and I feel like I don't want to start injuring people with the truth.
No, I think for as long as you're speaking the truth, and from this interview, somebody will really understand to say, "Uyu te rubber rouser, te type you touch teff." But sometimes you say something and people will interpret it in whichever way they want to, and it's their right. You know what I mean? Huh?
Yes.
But without injuring anybody, because also that's not what this podcast is about.
But you realize that in every truth, there's somebody that it just doesn't sit well with them.
Of course.
And I don't want to be a guy that is going to be secluded for speaking. But then you have to stand with the truth, and then, good Lord. You are saying?
Okay, we'll move on. Let's speak about your Facebook. Why are you losing your pages? Do you know why?
Okay.
Because this is the third time it's happening, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
The Facebook.
Maybe going back to the awards, maybe the only sentiment that I have at this point is... No, I don't want to start getting into the nitty-gritties of the awards, but
Good.
I think the awards also gives an industry that credence, that prestige, that relevance, because it's not only us that are watching and seeing who's doing what. We're a global community now.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it should be a true reflection of what is really obtaining in the industry in that particular season. Yeah. Then when it comes to Facebook pages, I would like to believe that there's nothing that just happens from without. We lost our official Facebook page, DRIMZ Mr Muziq, which was verified 3 days after I released single.
So it was just deleted?
They just hacked it. It is still there. It's still floating. They hacked it, but up to now, when you go to the page, DRIMZ Mr Muziq, the one that has got a blue tick, you find that the last post that I made on the 20th of January is the only activity on that page to date. We tried reaching out to Facebook, intervened. As usual, Facebook will tell you, send an email. In the next 24 hours, you get your page, but it wasn't forthcoming. So, that's why I'm saying, guys, business ya Zambia, yaba ku Facebook. We have to make another page.
You have to.
If to apangile page, DRIMZ Mr Muziq, spelled as MUSIK. And we started running with it for a year. 3 months ago, Twamunefati page suspended. Reason given, impersonation. So now in that moment, the social media team were confused, like, what is really going on? So who's reporting your page?
On that impersonation, I think it's quite a long process. Mm-hmm. Somebody has to report.
Exactly.
It has to be reported.
Yes.
So could maybe the people that hacked your page
I would like to think that. Because when my social media people, I don't know if I'm giving too much information, but when my social media people did their shanshani, when they were hacking this page, Australia. But they were using VPN. Now, admins Zambia.
Have you reported this to Zicta?
Zicta says they do not do. They only deal with the government pages. We reached out to Zicta.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh. So after twapanga karaka page suspended, twalorera kona 3 months tanda namwishba. We cannot continue living like this because our biggest audience is on Facebook.
It's on Facebook, yeah.
So let's create another page, Bashirota. Created the page, Bashirota. It was only 5 days and one of the fastest moving pages in terms of followers. In less than 24 hours, I had over 20,000 followers.
Wow.
And I must be quick to appreciate my industry friends that just came through for me to share, to say, oh, this guy has been hacked. Can you please follow him on this page? And I think they contributed greatly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got that one.
It's gone.
Oh. I don't know what's happening now. It's difficult.
Yesterday, Namwenefe had suspended for impersonation.
That's unfortunate. Yeah. Let's wind up the show differently. Your wife, when did you meet her? And how many kids do you have?
2006.
For someone who's listening, when you hear, especially Wakopa Belt, calling a woman a Mwape, it comes with love. She's beautiful, she's nice, and you love her. Huh? Someone was saying, if you have a boyfriend that is from the Kopa Belt, talk with Mwape, and he's talking.
I met my friend in 2006. Bola from College Oponari. Then I met one of my friends she was with, and I was telling my friend that and she was a Red Cross. So when I got injured, I told my friend that iwe
Esanga
big
fool.
man guys. Hey. And from that time, yeah, and she was coming from a family, a well-respected family.
Yeah.
And she was in school, and then this guy from college, yeah. So I've known.
So you're like childhood sweethearts.
Yes,
So
I've been with my wife for over 18 years.
So the anniversary that was being celebrated is for which year?
The wedding now, the
So
actual
the
marriage.
wedding, okay, marriage. Okay.
Yeah. I
For
married
how
her
many-
11 years ago.
Oh, 11 years old for the
Yes,
wedding.
yes.
Okay. All right, great. How many kids do you have?
We have 3 kids at present.
Okay. Is any one of the children, interested in, pursuing music as a career?
I actually thought I was going to be a musician, but now for that chiudwa vikapwe shati amkutea basketball. We have lost one. Gentlemen, we have lost one. We have lost a good one.
I let you basketball.
Hey.
And you must
And-
encourage him.
Yeah,
You never know where,
yeah,
where it might take
I
him.
do, and
Yeah.
I support him. I've gotten what I get what he wants, though he keeps coming back at naturally. It's kids anyway. The second one loves music, but he plays football.
Yeah.
Then the third one, the female, my daughter, loves music.
Yeah.
She can sing 5, 6, 10 different DRIMZ songs from start to finish. You can even put an instrumental, alemba, rimbolons, even the chants.
Very well.
Yeah.
So DRIMZ, for me, as a brother, my struggles through life have taught me never to stop for as long as we're doing what we're doing.
Very true.
I'll be very happy if one day I'm going to hear that you've opened another studio, because whoever is doing it, they're trying to make you stop. And what I think is that you're giving into what they want you to do. I think you must open a studio again because you're an artist. Secondly, it doesn't matter how many times people are going to hack into your Facebook. You need to carry on doing what you're doing, opening other pages.
Sure.
You've got fans.
Sure.
And immediately the fans are very aware of where your where you're going to be in terms of social media. They're still going to jump on you.
Sure.
It's very unfortunate. I feel
Sure.
we've lost a page before.
Sure.
I
remember. I remember.
Yeah, we've
Yeah.
lost a page before as a station, and recovery is really difficult.
It is.
But just
It is.
building those numbers and then losing them, it hurts. Yeah. But anyway, as we
Okay,
wind
so
up,
what I did, I have a young man from Cabo called Byron. He's my producer now. So what I did, instead of opening a studio, I had to empower.
Byron.
So I record from Kabwe.
Okay.
So that is practically like it's just my home.
Yeah.
Where the studio is.
Yeah.
So what we do is Byron is making beats for me and recording me, and we're coming to Lusaka for mixing.
Okay.
So I also get him along so that he should now start learning the art of mixing. I think that is the best that I can do for him, so that even the day that DRIMZ is not at the studio, he should be able to be making his own money.
His own money.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we do on the show is that the previous guest usually picks a question for the next guest. So I've got a question for you from our previous guest, and I'll give you a chance to ask a question
Was
to
here?
our next guest. Our previous guest was Makungo.
Muyembe.
Muyembe, yes. He didn't know it was you coming. So you randomly pick,
Okay.
right? So the question from Makungu is, what is something that strangers often incorrectly assume about you? This is a correct one, right?
Yes.
Okay. Ngoba kumona abantu bese ngona ndatshani.
Kari samwaka.
Ah.
Kari kwata jealous.
Is that serious?
You know, we've been to places where they've said, you guys are this professional. This guy is this humble. Because there are always people pushing narratives. How many times have you been to a place where someone is telling you, you know what, I never thought you were this kind?
You know something? I go through that all the time. You're probably thinking the same thing right now. Right? I get it all the time. It's probably what you're thinking also.
No.
Guys, so I get that all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
So it makes sense. So I'll give you 3 questions to choose from. Each question has a number attached to it. 1, 2, 3. You just pick a number, and I'll read out the question for the next guest from you.
Who's coming next?
We don't know.
Okay, so since I have 3 kids, I'll pick 3.
Number 3. Okay.
Yeah.
So question 3 reads: Imagine you are stranded on an island with only 3 items. What are you bringing, and how are they going to help you survive? So this is for the next guest. DRIMZ Mr Muziq, Bashilota.
You said it right.
It's been a pleasure hosting you on our show.
Appreciate
You've given us a very interesting show.
Sure.
I've never, like I said, I've never interacted with you
Sure.
for this long, and it sort of like helps me understand the great person that you are. Your fans are also watching,
Sure.
and I'm sure they're very inspired by your story. Thank you very much. Keep working hard.
Thank you.
And we'll keep supporting you.
Thank you. And thank you so much for what you're doing for Zambian music. It should not go without mentioning that to have a TV and radio station dedicate itself to have 80% local content, something commendable. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my brother.
Sure.
We appreciate. This has been the Kenny T One-on-One podcast. We'd like to thank our new sponsors, Abalea Carpooling. Remember to download their app, Abalea Carpooling. Download it and install it on your device, and then make use of it. Okay, it's safe, it's affordable, and I think it's something that you need to try out. It's a new concept. Usually, something new is strange, but this one is strange in a good way, because it's strange because you'll be spending less money for your transportation. We'd like to thank Yatu Tea, available in all leading supermarkets across the country. Remember, Yatu Tea is your premium black tea. My name is Kenny T. Back again next week. Same place, same space.